Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and today Eitan and I are sharing the secrets of how to connect with angels in disguise and the methods of receiving divine help according to the teachings of Kabbalah. This week we have multiple infusions of not only consciousness, but also strength to tap into the ability to connect to, whether it's angels, the light of the Creator, souls of the righteous that have walked the path that we're walking, really just to be present and tuned into the abundance of divine support that's available to us. And from this week's lesson, to learn the different practices, the internal work that allows us enhanced access to that divine help, not only this week, but anytime we need it. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most practical and powerful tools to navigate the coming 7 days through the wisdom and tools of Kabbalah. So every episode ends up offering practical wisdom and tools that you can use anytime. And as we mentioned last week, each of the next few weeks gives us an infusion of not only wisdom, but again, also that support, the access, enhanced access to develop greater consciousness and ability around receiving that divine guidance and help. And we touched on it a little bit last week, right? Acknowledging that when we hear a voice, Noah heard a voice, but for us, it's not necessarily a sound, an auditory thing. Sometimes it's a knowing, it's a calling, and we're continuing that line of understanding this week as well, as we'll see in a moment that Abraham is opening the gates for us in an even more profound way to have those same abilities. So Eitan, where should we begin?
I would start with the beginning of the story of this week portion, Vayera. Vayera refer to revelation. Vayera means the Creator was revealed to Abram in the highest level any human being ever experienced revelations, connection, clarity to the light, to the bigger picture. This weekly portion, right after he had the circumcision, he reached in the age of 99 total awareness, quantum awareness. And how does the portion start? It says, and Abram sat in the entrance of the tent. What is the code behind it Kabbalistically? The code is the tent represents the present level that Abram was, which is huge. And what was the inclination of Abram? I want to go to the entrance because I want to go to my next level. Entrance of the tent represent entrance to the next level. Sit down, enjoy, appreciate. You accomplished. You connected. You transform. You help so many people. But one of the main teachings of Abram, anytime you are attached to a specific accomplishment, to specific growth, to specific success, to specific enlightenment, and you stay there for too long, you're no longer connecting to God, because the definition of God is an endless force of sharing. And practically Abram knew the revelation that he had just prepared him to his next level of revelation. And that's where divine support waiting for us. If I want divine support, I need to have the courage during good times and during difficult times to go to my next level. Because the next level that I did not accomplish yet represent being a beginner, representing facing the unknown, representing willingness to express more courage and more trust. And that's what the angels waiting to support us. Now, Rabbi Isaac Luria tells us that the support of angels, but there's also support of righteous soul that joining us, sometimes for a minute, sometimes for a day, sometimes for a few weeks, for a month. It's called Ibur. And the only way to be able to get support from the realm above, if I'm moving away from the limited, confined reality of my ego and my senses. And practically it means willingness to go to the next level. Willingness to see myself as this is my first day and I'm expecting growth and next level and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So, and right afterwards, the Torah tells us he saw three people, which then we're learning that three angels that were there to help him to realize that he's going to have a son, even though it doesn't make sense. His wife was barren. She was 90 years old. But when I'm able to receive help from above, the rules of the physical reality don't work anymore. And the gate for miracles are open. Elisheva, what does it mean for you, the idea of willingness to be in the entrance of the next level and not being stuck?
It's interesting that you ask me that question specifically, something that I've been thinking about and we touched on last week a little bit or actually a few weeks ago, is that even if our next level isn't obvious, right? Many times you speak with someone and they say, I feel something needs to change. I'm restless. I know I can do more. I'm not sure what. Or maybe you're in a position or a job that seems sort of basic or robotic and you want to do something more creative, more impactful, but the actual next thing isn't obvious or hasn't revealed itself yet. A big part of making that shift of what's my next level and welcoming it is really being present to the opportunity that's in the present moment, which is also, again, connected to what Abraham was doing, right? Waiting what's coming, right? Like that's the being fully present. I often share this with people. Sometimes a person is looking for a new job, a new career, a new position, and they're applying and they're interviewing and applying and interviewing and nothing comes back. There's a certain feeling of what am I doing wrong? Maybe I need to change my resume. Maybe I need to dress differently. There's all these questions that come up. And one really powerful consciousness that I think it's connected and completely applies here is, you want to make sure before you move on that you revealed all the light that the Creator knows you can reveal where you are right now. And that practice of being present. Is there someone else that I meant to inspire or influence here? Maybe there's a solution that I'm aware of that I can share that will benefit the bigger picture. Maybe somebody just needs me to listen to them or to feel acknowledged or recognized. But being present, being aware and focused on the opportunity of the present moment. Like, am I revealing all the light that I meant to reveal here? If there's something left undone, it will be hard to go to that next level or to be, you can be standing at what you think is the opening, right? It looks like having these meetings is going to take me to that promotion, or going on dating this person or going to these events is going to help me meet that right person. At the same time, if we have that, I think that when we want our next level, the tendency is to not be present, to be focused on how it's going to look and who's going to be there and what's it going to feel like. And I can't wait to get there, but you're still not there yet. And so the focus also needs to be, what's that light that I need to be revealing right now so that I can be present to step through the opening when my next level shows up.
Absolutely. If next level is an escape, you're saying it's a problem,
Right. That often, I even see it in relationships, that people can get bored and feel stagnant and tired of a situation. If it's a romantic relationship, it can be a roommate or a work partner, and they're so ready to move on that they don't realize that if they're going to move on, the same scenario is going to chase them into the same situation, because they didn't get everything. They didn't extract every spark from the situation that the light brought them to in the first place.
So what we're actually saying, being in the entrance of the tent, is being in the entrance of going to my next spiritual level, which has to do with letting go of my limited desires and attachment and moving to the greater desires of connection. So it doesn't mean you can go to the next level of viewing the same relationship that you are at and actually giving chance to the person that you're with and shifting your judgment into believing in that person. So actually, which leads us to the next concept that we really wanted to share about, that connect to this portion, the famous story of binding of Isaac. We're not going to get to the actual story, but the secret of healthy desire, unhealthy desire. Should you let go of all your desires? Because some spiritual philosophies will preach that in order to connect with God, you need to actually let go of all your desires. There's a Kabbalistic statement that says, the energy of the Creator represents endless energy of giving, and because there's no coercion in spirituality, you have to desire more and more and more of the light of the Creator, getting closer to the Creator, experience the Creator, being a channel of the Creator. And at the same time, when I'm attached to my own limited desire, I'm blocking the Creator. So what is the balance of having desire, letting go of the desire? When do you need to let go? When you should desire? How does it work? Actually, that's what Abraham is teaching us through the story of binding of Isaac. So, where do we start? So the idea is like this. While every day it's part of my meditation, it's part of my daily prayers and communication with the Creator, and the Kabbalah suggested every day you need to actually open yourself to the infinite light of the Creator and say, I desire your guidance, I desire your light, I desire to be your channel, I desire to transform, I desire to become like you. I desire to let go of my ego. I desire to experience blessings and abundance and amazing family and greater love in my life, but without the reactive attachments to that desire. That's starting the day with intention. During the day, we'll catch ourselves upset, angry, disappointed, fearful, judgmental, victimized. And all these feelings are simple indication I'm too attached to that specific thing I wanted and things didn't happen my way. And every time you're too attached, it's no longer the desire for the Creator. It's the desire for one thing. And that's what I need to say. Let go. Rav Berg used to say, we're not here to let go of the desire for the Creator. We're not here to let go of the big desire for light in every aspect of life. We're here to let go of this small, attached desire that connects to my way, the way I expected it, the way my ego wants it, the way I perceive it will be better for me, the way how I'm going to get a temporary relief. That's what I need to let go. And it's a dance that all of us needs to go through. The fact that I have good intention, I want it all to be your channel and to bring blessings, that's beautiful. That's a good beginning of the day. Trust me, we're going to have rejection. We're going to have things don't happen according to our desire, because that's what drives us. You go to work to manifest a project, you have specific desire to manifest this project. You're going to have things don't go your way. It's your opportunity to say no to the attached desire and go back to the original intention. And it's a daily back and forth. You just made a major step to improve the relationship. And you realize you need to change. You need to have more empathy. You need to have more quality time with your partner. And suddenly, you don't get back the energy from the other. I expected if I'll change, they'll change. Then you realize, yeah, you gave great energy, but you had desire for specific return. Let it go. Go back to the original desire. So, life, it's a constant process of elevation and purification. You want to get back to the real pure desire to allow the light in my life? You need to let go of all the false attachment, ego expectation, temporary needs. And it's all of us needs to go through it. Even Abraham needs to go through it with his own son. He loved his son so much. And he knew he's going to be a channel for so much. But he needed to let it go of his attachment. It's my son. And when he let it go, what happened? The angels told him, wow, your son will live for so long and so much blessings will come up. So we're not here not to desire things and people and blessings and love we want. We just need to let go of the superficial temporary needs that blinding us for the big picture.
I think that there's an even deeper secret in what you're sharing, and the whole story. I mean, there's so many lessons we can learn, and I think practical changes we can make based on those lessons. Inside that story where Abraham completely detached from his desire, which again, I don't even know if it was selfish. It was just one of those, like you said, you want to be close with a person. You want them to live forever. You have your own vision of how things could be. It was actually his detachment that allowed him to hear the angel guiding him to change the plan. And for each one of us, part of the revelation, the realization this week is that my own limited perceptions and attachments and obsessing, overthinking, rationalizing, that the ego-focused habits that we have inside are blocking us from receiving that divine guidance. I think there's a lot of people out there, we meditate, we pray, we do good, positive actions, we're kind, we're doing good in the world, and then we say, well, how come my intuition isn't stronger, or how did I get into that bad situation, or how didn't I see it coming? If one of the most powerful ways to unblock each of our own personal access to the divine help, guidance, communication, call it intuition if you want, is to be detached, is to say, yes, I know I'm working towards this, I'm pushing toward it, but I really want what's best for me, which isn't necessarily what I'm focused on. Like I want, I think it's challenging, especially when it comes to parenting right? When you see what's good for your child and you think you know, and you could be pushy about it. I think it also happens if you have your own business or your own project that you're managing and you're so invested in it and attached to its success. Even the success in your mind is limited compared to what's possible. And creating that shift is really what this week is about, being open to the unlimited possibilities that the moment, like, I don't know if you can even imagine that there's literally like a sound that's made. When I detach, I open myself up to outcomes that are probably where I'm at right now. I can't even imagine them for my kids, for the project, for the business, whatever it is. And this month, again, it's not a coincidence that it falls in the month of Scorpio. One of the things Scorpios are famous for is controlling. And it's always to me, I always marvel at how perfect the universe is, that within the month where everyone's tendency is to be a little Scorpio, a little bit more controlling than usual, we're also given the antidote this week to practice that detachment, to be open to the divine guidance, to be open to the infinite potential that each one of us has. And really the secret is not controlling, not insisting, not forcing, not manipulating, even for the right reasons. I believe most of us listening now, we have good intentions. We want the best for people, things, processes in our lives, but we allow our attachment to those processes to block the fullest potential for manifesting. And it's so exciting when, you have the opportunity, especially this week, to sit back and reflect, what am I holding on to? What am I not letting unfold into something more infinite, more limitless than what I think would be best or powerful or important or is the right thing to do?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the last thing I would like to share, that some people think you need to stay in a mindset of no attachment all day long, no control all day long. I'll do nothing and God will provide. No, it is a dance. In a real process, anything you try to manifest, anything, when you truly care about anything, about your kids, you will try to push, and part of it will be the test of attachment. Then you need to let go. It's a process. You're controlling, you're pushing, and then you realize I'm pushing too much. Then let go. And in that let go, you go back to the I want much more than that specific. I want the partnership of the Creator. I want the guidance of the Creator. I want the will of the Creator. And it's back and forth that allows. If you're sitting and do nothing and say God would provide, so you're not actually open the door, the friction between attachment and detachment and pushing against attachment, that's what opened the vessel for divine guidance, light, and blessing.
Right. And you can't trick the system, right? Your desire is the internal you is the one that's driving the process. So you can say outside, I don't want the deal. But inside, if you're obsessing and worried and nervous about it, you haven't detached. So I want to make sure it's clear. You can't cheat the system. It's the internal energy, the internal consciousness that determines what we're talking about, not the slogans we say or the attitudes we show externally. It's a very important distinction there. That's beautiful. And hopefully for all of us this week, we'll begin at least to identify how we're in a way blocking the divine guidance, the divine help and support because of our strong attachment to the outcomes or the results that we're looking for. Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us on those platforms to receive even more content to support you in living what we talk about every week. You can visit weeklyenergyboost.com. You can find the links to sign up for all the classes we talk about, the courses, the services, and anything else we think is important for our listeners to know about. You can search our archives, send us a message, and of course, click the donate button at weeklyenergyboost.com as well. But as always, please share this episode. You all have been such a powerful part of us reaching even more people. And the more you share, the more light's revealed. So we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.